This podcast is titled Time to Rebuild. This is not a message for people who had an easy year 2025. This is for the one who survived the storm of 2025, the one who prayed, who waited, who lost, who endured, and still standing. This is for you. If you are that person, there comes a moment in life when survivor is no longer the assignment. You didn't come this far just to stay in recovery mode. You didn't endure the pain just to remain in pieces. There is a quiet but powerful shift that happens when God whispers, "It's time to rebuild." Rebuilding is not denial of what was lost. It is honoring what was broken by choosing not to live there anymore. Rebuilding does not mean you failed, no. It doesn't mean you failed, but it means that you came through something with courage, resilience, and faith. Let's be honest for a moment. Rebuilding is uncomfortable. In fact, very uncomfortable. It requires you to touch places you protected for a very long time. It asks you to believe again after disappointment. It asks you to dream again after grief. It asks you to trust again when faith feels risky. But rebuilding is holy work. Remember in the scripture when the wall of Jericho fell, was destroyed, God didn't tell the people to pretend that didn't happen. No, you know what he did? He called them to rebuild the walls stone by stone, with one hand walking and the other hand holding a weapon. Why do you think God did that? It is because rebuilding requires vigilance. You don't rebuild naively. You rebuild with wisdom. Guess what? Rebuilding looks like this. Refining who you are after what you survived, setting boundaries where access was once free, reclaiming your voice after seasons of silence, choosing alignment over approval, healing without rushing, and obedience without explanation. Rebuilding means you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" And you start asking, "What is being formed in me now?" So if you're rebuilding, hear this clearly from me. You are not behind, you are not late, and you are not weak. You are simply in a season of sacred transition. Some things had to fall apart because they cannot go where God is taking you. Some doors close because your next season requires a different entry point. Some relationship ended because they were not tied, or they are rather tied to your old version. Rebuilding is not about creating what was. It is simply about constructing what's next. So today, I say this over you. It is time to rebuild your faith without fear. It is time to rebuild your confidence without apology. It is time to rebuild your dreams without limitation. It is time to rebuild your life with intention. Slow is okay. Intentional is powerful. But guess what? Rooted is better than rush. So as we continue into this new year, I need you to take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, what am I being invited to build right now? Not later, not someday, but right now. Because you know, that same God who carried you through the storm in 2025 is standing with you in your rebuilding. And this time, you are not just surviving, you are rising. If you had listened so far to this point, I want you to know that you didn't arrive here by accident. No, you didn't find this page by accident. You're here because something in you knows that the season you've been through, the losses, the setbacks, disappointment, the silence, the tears, did not come to destroy you. They came to prepare you. Rebuilding, I know, is not glamorous. It doesn't even come with an applause. Rebuilding often begins in quiet places where no one sees the strength it takes for you to get up again. But rebuilding is holy work. You know, there are moments in life when everything familiar collapses. the plans you trusted, the people you leaned on, the version of you you once knew. And in this moment, the temptation is to rush, to replace quickly, to pretend nothing happened. But here is the truth. True rebuilding requires honesty. It requires courage. It requires you to stand in the rubble and say, I will not stay here, but I will acknowledge what broke. Rebuilding means grieving what was while believing in what can. It means forgiving yourself for what you didn't know. It means releasing shame and starting all over again. It means accepting that healing is not linear and strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes strength whispers, try again tomorrow. So if you've been feeling tired, not because you're weak, but because you've been carrying too much for too long, this message is for you. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are only becoming. Rebuilding starts with foundation, and foundation are laid slowly, brick by brick, boundary by boundary, prayer by prayer, choice by choice. You rebuild your mind by changing the conversations you have with yourself. You rebuild your heart by allowing it to feel again without fear. You rebuild your life by choosing alignment over approval, peace over performance, and obedience over fear. Let me say this to you clearly. Starting over does not mean you lost. It means you survived. There's wisdom in your scars. There's purpose in your pauses, and there's clarity in what you no longer tolerate. This season is not about rushing to be who you were. It's about rising to be who you've always meant to be. So today, if all you can do is breathe and believe again, that is enough. If all you can do is take one small step, take it. If all you can do is whisper instead of shout of faith, God still hears you. So it is time to rebuild, not from pressure, but from purpose. Not from fear, but from faith. Not from what broke you, but from what strengthened you. This is your invitation to rebuild your life with intention, to rebuild your dreams with courage, to rebuild your future with hope. And remember, what you rebuild now will carry you into the next chapter of your becoming. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.